All right, the Toronto Pro 2023 is over, and your open bodybuilding champion is Ian Valliere. It was a little bit of a controversial decision, but I understand on the scorecards he scored perfectly. So, all the judges had him winning. Was it a controversial decision? Maybe. I understand why they gave it to Ian, put it that way. And if anybody who watches my channel, I'm not the biggest Ian fan, but I understand why they gave it to Ian. Ian's conditioning was good, and he just had better flow and shape to his physique. And of course, he could hold his own when it comes to size to pretty much anybody. The reason why people think it was a little controversial, in my opinion, Hassan Mustafa had so much muscle. He had so much muscle. He was so big, and his conditioning was just as good as Ian's, maybe a little bit better, but he has this blocky waist, and it messes up his V-taper. Oh, before I continue, this is my new microphone. It's a ball, right? It looks like a ball. This is my old microphone. Looks like a dick. Shut up, assholes. Anyway, so let me just look at some pictures, and then we'll talk about everybody who came in the top 5. So let's see. Here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. So this was the top 3. Now, first of all, kudos to Ross Flanagan. He actually kept pretty much the same conditioning he brought last week. His condition was, as far as I'm concerned, was just as good. He just couldn't match up to these. I mean, Ian and Mustafa, they're just so big and muscular. They're just huge. These are like, top level, top 10 Olympian bodybuilders, and they are big dudes. So this picture kind of explains exactly what I mean as far as the flow. You see how small Ian's waist is and his shoulder to waist ratio. And, Mustafa doesn't have that. And he also has to learn to control his midsection a little bit better. Now, that being said, he had more muscle than anybody on the stage. He had muscle for days. I mean, this guy was just, as far as muscle goes, he's unbelievable. His conditioning was good enough, right? The two of them from the back, their conditioning, I mean, when I say the two of them, I mean Hassan and Ian, was good. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, here's from the back. Now, this is prejudging, right? Because the high def pictures for the finals weren't up yet, so I don't want to take this much time. You see, Robert Strand pretty much came in the same conditioning. From the back, he was unbelievable. And the 3rd place finish is really good for him because, these guys are just so much massive. Now, in the finals, it looked like Ian came in a little bit sharper, and even Hassan looked like he came in a little bit sharper. They had a little bit better conditioning in their hamstrings and glutes and so on and so forth. But, look how small Ian's waist is compared to his shoulders. Okay, don't worry, I'll get to the chest issue because that kind of throws me off too. So from his shoulders down to his waist, and then he has good quads. He's a more balanced bodybuilder. He doesn't have the wow factor that Mustafa has. Mustafa comes out and you're like, holy shit, look at the size of this guy, right? But his blocky waist, and he doesn't really control his midsection that well on stage. That probably solidified the 2nd place. That's the only thing I could really think of. Okay. Other YouTubers thought Hassan should have been 2nd, should have been 1st. I apologize. I understand why they gave Ian 1st place. Now, if they gave Hassan 1st place, would I be upset? No, because you can make the reverse argument. Hassan had so much more muscle. His legs are just so much bigger, right? But I get why they gave it to Ian. Ian's conditioning was good. His shape and balance and flow were better, were pretty much the best on stage. Okay. Now, obviously, Ross Flanagan's shape and conditioning and flow was the best. He just lacks the size. compared to it. I mean, you can see it right here. I mean, Ian's back just looks like a barn door compared to Ross, right? And at the end of the day, this is a bodybuilding contest, so you have to pick the perfect package. And I understand why they picked Ian. Put it that way. Okay, yeah. Even here, look how small his waist is here, and his quads, hams, glutes. His chest. He has a lot of density. Okay, so it's did not shock me. Let's see if we can find some other pics. Okay. All right, here's just a quick video. I don't know these other guys. This guy was not a New York Pro. I forgot his name. There's his song. See, I don't know who these guys are, but they didn't make. I know Joe Seaman came in 5th and Robert Strand came in 4th. Right. Let's see if we can find some other pictures. Because Robin Strand and Joe Seaman are good bodybuilders, and they put in work. I mean, these guys put in work. They came in chiseled. They really did. Before I get to Ian's chest, I know everybody's going to want to talk about Ian's chest. I get it. I get Ian's chest. Okay, believe me, it kind of bugged me out too. I was like, what the? Let's see. Okay, this is the same pictures. Yeah, they must have the same pictures on the same website. Same pictures on the same website. Yeah, same pictures on the same website. All right, so here is okay. All right. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Now, obviously, the picture from this is the Olympia picture. The high def pictures aren't out yet, and I don't want to wait too much time before I put this video out, so I just jumped into it. Here's the thing with me. I don't know what's going on with Ian's chest. I don't know why this happens. I have seen it happen to other bodybuilders. I don't know why this happens. Maybe on Muscle Talk, Jason Owens probably has a better explanation. We'll talk about it. And his chest looked very flat. Obviously, he didn't have any points taken off for it. But here's my thing. If you have gyno, you're going to get points taken off of that. And that's because that's an eyesore. If you have a torn bicep, you're going to have points taken off because that's an eyesore. A torn tricep because it's an eyesore. But for some reason, I don't know why, this did not have any points taken off. And I mean, your eyes go right to this. When he does the front double bicep, you can see how flat his chest is. And when he does his most muscular, you could see the significant difference from last year to this year. Again, I don't know why this happens, but for some strange reason, they don't dock points for this, but they'll dock points for gyno, they'll dock points for a torn bicep, a torn tricep. To me, this is just as an eyesore as any of those other 3 things that we've seen, right? Okay. A torn bicep is going to show when you do a front double bicep. And that's pretty much the only thing that is going to, that's the only pose that's going to show that, right? This is the only pose that's going to show this chest, this problem in his chest. So in Ian's defense, his conditioning, his flow, his shape, and his symmetry was enough to win. So that was the case. Now, let's see what we got here. Oh, this is a terrible. Nah, that's crappy. We don't want to look at that. I want to see if there is some other can't. This is not maybe you know what? Katie's my editor. Katie, when you do this, just focus in. If you could bring this out a little bit more. What holds back guys like Robin Strand and Joe Seaman, and I'm partial to Joe because I met him at the New York Pro, and I met his wife at the New York Pro, and they are nice people, and I'm partial to them, but I have to leave my feelings out of it. The fact that he's a really good dude, and we were talking, and we're kind of like friends DMing each other on Instagram, and his wife is a sweetheart. But besides that point, it's their shape. Right, they're a little bit, they're big, but they're a little blocky. Joe Seaman's a little bit blocky, his waist is a little blocky. When you look at Robin Strand, he lacks quad sweep. and it is unfortunate because they are good bodybuilders. I don't know how young. I think they're both in their early 30s. Maybe they have time to work on it in the future and get a little better. They have, plenty of time. They're young guys. But in this show, clearly the judges thought Ian brought the best package. And I agree. I reluctantly agree I don't know if that makes sense. Because my eyes kept going to Hassan. My eyes kept going back to Hassan because he was just so massive. Let's find another picture of Hassan. Let's see. Because he was just so big. And he was in good enough shape, right? I mean, he was just this is a crappy. Let's go back to where I was originally. Where was I? Bison Shrines. Was I at Bison Shrines? Was I at Bison Shrines? Let's see. Okay, yeah. So my, my eyes kept going to Hassan because his legs were so massive. Look how full his chest is, right? Now, in Ian's defense, he knows how to pose, right? He kind of knows how to pose and get around that. Because in his pose, he's able to like lift his chest up high and his shoulders are wide enough and his lats, and it makes the V taper look great. Even from behind, when he does a rear double by, or not a rear double by, I'm sorry, yeah, rear double by, or a lat, a real lat spread. He knows how to pose to hide his flaws, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But see, the thing is, I'm sure everybody in the audience was going to Hassan, looking at Hassan. Look how massive he is. He's massive. He's got that wow factor. The legs, the chest, the back. He was in shape. His arms, just, but he doesn't have that flow from shoulder to waist ratio like Ian does, right? So what I mean when they do the real, okay, look how far back Ian's bending. And that's because he has very high lat insertions. And we've talked about this over the Olympia. He has high lat insertions, but he knows how to pose to get around that. So let's see if I could find a rear lat or rear double by that will show you exactly what I mean. Because when he does that, wrong one. When he does, you could see it right when he starts doing the pose. You could see it, right? And then when he finishes the pose, it hides it. To his credit, right? So let's see if we could find something like that. Okay, here's him doing his. Okay, here, perfect. All right, you see his lat insertion is right here. Okay, you see right there. That's where his lat insertion is, right? Well, see, it's right there. You can see it. Now watch how he poses, and then he boom, and he leans back, and it kind of hides it. So to his credit, he knows how to pose to get around that, and that's very smart. He knows how to hide his. Even when he did that, the real lat spread, he goes back and he knows how to hide. Problem is with the chest, yeah, but you can't hide that. You can't hide that chest. Look at that. That's an eyesore. You go right to that. Yeah. To his credit, I mean, calves aren't judged in bodybuilding at all. You literally could. Calves aren't judged in bodybuilding. But here it is again, right? And then boom, and then he hides it. And then when he does the real lat spread, it's the same thing, where he's able to boom once again. It's here, and then once he spreads it out, he's so wide and thick, and he leans back, and it's not there. Okay, now, all right. Now, who won the 212? I'm only going to talk about the 212 one. It was obviously the most complete 212 guy. I'm going to butcher this guy's name. I don't know where he's from. His name is Piotr Bukowski. I apologize. I apologize in advance, man. I don't know how to pronounce your name. But here's the 212. He clearly was the most balanced, the best shape. I don't know many of these guys. I think this This is the same guy who came in second at the New York Pro. Comment below, I think it is. But these other 212 guys, like this guy's out of balance. He's got great legs, but his upper body doesn't match. This guy obviously had the most balance and was the most conditioned by far. And I apologize. Here it is. Piotr Borecki. Piotr Borecki. Okay, I don't know where he's from. Oh, is it Polish? Because this is the Polish flag. He might be Polish. But good for him. You know, he punched his ticket to the Olympia, so I'm sure he's very happy. And you know, winning a pro show is no small feat. That's fantastic. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to Ian Valier. Okay, listen, I gotta give credit where credit is due. All right. What makes him win is his flow, symmetry, and balance. He never had this chest problem until recently. This is this year, because they showed from last year. I don't know what causes that. I have no idea what causes that. All right. When he comes in condition like he did today, he could win because, like I said, the conditioning plus the symmetry, the balance takes him to the winner's circle every time. Anyway, all right, guys. I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for tuning in. Your 2023 Toronto Pro champion is Ian Valier. Ian has punched his ticket to the Olympia. Remember, like and subscribe to my channel. I try my best to cover everything, even though I didn't even get to watch it today. I don't even know if there was a live stream. I had people changing my central AC unit today in my house. It was a mob scene. Forget it, you know. Anyway, all right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Later.